Hello boys and girls, get ready for that rare combo of more firmness as well as length that the doctors always told you you could never have. I am of course referring to the Gktech Z34 370z braided line brake set, giving you a firmer pedal feel as well as a smidge more length to let that lock kit you just got get its full swing on. It has been a while since our last line vid, so kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Now here you have a bag with items in it being generously shimmied by our main man Zach. Upon opening said bag, this is what you shall receive. Once you've splayed everything appealingly on the bench, let's start by the fact that these lines are made to the standards of all these fancy logos in the countries that they coincide with. So these are not just some dude in a garage popping out lines. So if you're in need of high quality certified safe lines, we got you fam. Let's start with this little guy. This is a rear line, meaning it goes in the back, aka the rear of the car from the chassis connection to the caliper. Next up is this joyous bundle of two lines that comprise of the front setup, which by the way includes a custom-made stainless steel block for your pleasure and or ease of fitment. Speaking of ease of fitment, this is how the two are assembled, so please don't try any other format and or configuration, as you will 100% get yourself covered in brake fluid and ain't nobody got time for that silver shower. Last but certainly not least, we have these two stainless steel banjo bolt fittings that come with the standard style copper washers for proper sealage. We also include with the kit a love letter of the do's and don'ts of installing it. If you're confused, I recommend reading it twice just so you can see how much we love you. Now that being said, we do give you 6 washers, 2 for each side of the banjo bolts at the front of the car, leaving you dazed and confused as to why you may or may not have 2 left. Well, we kindly supplied these in case you have the Akabono/Brembos or not. If you don't have the Baller as brakes, then you'll use the 2 extra washers in the rear. If you do have the Baller Boys, you'll save these for a rainy day and thank us later for being so goddamn generous. Start off by removing the wheel with whatever sorcery you feel is fit to do so. Once you've garnished access to the stop hoses, grab a tool and loosen up the hardline nut whilst it's in its place. Now remove the clip and continue to thread the hardline off, moving it slightly outwards towards the wheelless cavity. Pop the bottom line out, remove the junction block nut, and place that somewhere where you won't lose it. Now move on to the knuckle and remove the other junction block there by loosening and removing said nut as well. Now head to the caliper and loosen and remove the brake line fitting to the caliper as well, popping that sucker right on off. Now head north, young man, but only slightly, to find the final bracket Nissan saw fit to keep these things more locked down than my friends down under. Remove that bolt, and because you did such a bang up job debracketing, the line should pop off. Now would be a good time to brag about how our junction blocks were specifically designed to fit in the brackets that hold them to make your lives easier, but I digress. Slip the fully sick block on, toss on the nut, then tighten it down and torque to the spec shown on the screen. Squeeze on over to the chassis side and pop the line through the bracket, grasping the dangler above it and threading that down a bit. Now grab the clip and ever so gently beat it into submission to its final resting place. Once secured, you can now tighten the hard line the rest of the way down as to prevent leakage. Heading back over to the caliper, grab 2 copper washers in the banjo side of the line, then fit a washer to each side and thread that on down to the caliper itself. As for placement, you want to have a bit of natural droop in the line, aka not too far forward or back. Once right, torque down to the specs shown right here. Lastly, head over to the strut and install and tighten down the 90-degree fittings into the block. This is where we give you some adjustment, but again, like your tailor always says, let it hang naturally where it lies for best fitment. You basically want to make sure that it's not contacting the strut, knuckle, or anything else, as well as to make sure the line with the banjo doesn't hit the LCA as well. Once rubbage free, you are done with this side and can move on with your life and or to the rear of the car. Now once you've arrived at the rear and have removed the wheel, loosen and remove the hard line going into the caliper, all whilst double dipping since you're already here and loosening and removing the 2 bolts that hold down the bracket. Head north once again, loosening the hardline nut while everything is secure, grasping the clip and removing it for now. Now loosen the nut the rest of the way and gently bend it to the side. Let's compare Mom's spaghetti with our new improved version, and as you can see, the red hot mess Nissan thought was a grand old idea lies before you. Enter our simple version, aka 1 single line to rule them all. Imagine all the ounces you just shaved, which for sure equates to quarter-mile ownage in the end. Dom Toretto smiles upon thee. Now back to the baller/non-baller brake conundrum. If you were one of the poors, use the washers. That's the lame OEM non-cool named brakes. Now for all you folks out there lucky enough to have Akabono or Brembos, you now have 2 washers in the bank to give to your poor friends when they need spares. Neat. We here at Gktech are baller AF, so no need for washers here. Pop the fixed fitting side into the caliper and tighten it on down. We 100% want to be doing this side first. Then head to the female side, aka the chassis one, and pop that side on up, get it started, then smash that clip on home by brute show of force. Now tighten the fitting the rest of the way down, and this side is done. Do the other side or not, I don't really care. What you do need to do is bleed your brake system because you emptied all the fluid out. And this is us. We all hang naturally, as stated above. It just works out sometimes. What we all love equally is cars and drifting, as well as making dank-ass how-to videos for you, the people. If you can't install these, please have a pro do it or reach out to us with any questions you may or may not have. This has been Officer Dan, Johnny Caps, Joshy Josh, and for sure Dress Left Zach with another Gktech how-to. Peace.